Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the 50th annual meeting of the Greater Houston Convention and Visitors Bureau. If you will, please take your seats.
This is Colorful Radio. This is the place to be. Where all the family like to listen. This is KILD.
Kilt's official weather for the Houston area, partly cloudy and continued warm through Tuesday. Widely scattered afternoon thunder showers, low tonight 75, high tomorrow 94. Winds now south 9 miles per hour.
In 1962, Houston's population was just over 1 million, yet it was still considered a small city in the eyes of the nation. At the direction of then-Mayor Louis Welch, 7 men gathered at the Rice Hotel. Their purpose, to create an organization dedicated to marketing Houston as a convention and leisure destination. Mayor Welch's vision was for Houston to be a city where conventions came to do business and visitors traveled to experience the city's unique offerings. He knew that once this occurred, Houston's status would rise dramatically, and the impact on Houston's economy would be significant. So on that day in 1962, business leaders Max Peck, Robert Kneebone, Robert Hogan, Porter Paris, Robert Dundas, Sonny Look, and Bill McDavid formed the Houston Convention and Visitors Council.
Gentlemen, we all know why we're here today. We are losing convention business to cities like New York, Chicago, San Francisco, and even Dallas. Now, the mayor wants an organization dedicated to promoting Houston, and he has called on us to lead the way.
As hoteliers, Porter and I see how properties benefit when the city promotes. Gentlemen, we can invest thousands and turn it into millions.
We've done some research. This year it looks like New York City is going to spend $586,000 on promotion, but they're going to get back $300 million in tourist dollars. San Francisco's going to spend $500,000 and they'll get back $150 million. We are leaving money on the table.
I consider travel dollars to be new money. While visitors in Houston, they have to shop somewhere, it ought to be at Foley's and the city's other stores.
We are sitting on a real opportunity. The new Dome Stadium will put Houston on the map. And with more young people becoming space conscious, NASA will surely be a draw. Gentlemen, the time is now for us to act.
I think we all agree. So what do we need to do to make this happen?
I'm glad you asked. Boys, it's time to break out your checkbooks.
There we go.
The committee personally funded the creation of the council. Their first priority was to hire a seasoned professional to lead the charge. Chester Wilkins, one of the country's top experts in conventions and exhibitions, was lured from Chicago and became the executive vice president. Over the next 15 years, the council, under the leadership of Mr. Wilkins, delivered on the promise of enhancing Houston's image. This included working with leaders to develop venues suited for hosting major events: the Astrodome, Astro Hall, Astro Arena, Albert Thomas Convention Center, and the Summit. The development of these iconic venues created momentum. Houston was on the move, and the nation was watching. The city had become an entertainment hub with restaurants, new hotels, a burgeoning cultural scene, shopping, and of course, NASA. The council used this attention to increase the percentage of national conventions held in Houston. This included a successful campaign to lure the National Association of Home Builders Convention to Houston, marking the first time in history the group would meet outside Chicago. Several of the founders, Robert Kneebone, Robert Hogan, Sonny Look, and Robert Dundas, went on to continue their leadership as chairman of the GHCVC. Upon his retirement, Mr. Wilkins was quoted as saying,
Houston has a spirit I have not found anywhere else, and we have only scratched the surface.
In the decades that followed, that statement would prove true many times over. Today, Houston is a modern metropolis, a global business leader with a cutting-edge arts and culture scene. Houston is a city on the frontier. Just not this one.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome from Houston, Texas, Collide.
You should have, but I can't hear a word you say. I'm not saying much. Don't criticize how our bullets ricochet. Shoot me down, but I can love.
Good afternoon and welcome to the 50th anniversary of the Greater Houston Convention and Visitors Bureau. I hope you enjoyed the recreation of our founding. The tone set by the 7 men in that room has been carried forth by GHCVB. It is the can-do spirit that is the hallmark of our history. It is the same spirit that brought the National Association of Home Builders to Houston and established us as a major player in the convention and trade show business. It took extraordinary measures to lure them from Chicago, This includes Judge Roy Hoffheinz guaranteeing them $750,000 a year for 3 years, each year for 3 years. And Mayor Louis Welch securing 2,000 cars for transportation and then convincing the Houston Jaycees to drive them. The anecdotes of our history are an appropriate departure point as we begin our next 50 years. The play is an abbreviated version of what actually took place at the Rice Hotel. Sandy Hulver was in the room in 1962, and she's here with us today. Sandy, please stand. Many of you may recall that Sandy was our first lifetime director as was selected by the board. And for 50 years, she's been a true friend. Volunteering and committing time, resource whenever it was needed. In fact, I bet many of you today have received a call from Sandy encouraging you to come to this meeting. So thank you, Sandy. As we reflect on the meeting that started it all, it's important that we continue our founder's vision in focus. I think that you will find that 2012 is a great example of how we are carrying out the mission and being future focused. To officially call our meeting to order, please welcome our chair, Mr. Alex Brennan Martin.
Distinguished guests, welcome to this very special annual meeting of the Greater Houston Convention and Visitors Bureau, celebrating our 50th anniversary. I officially call the meeting to order. The GHCVB is one of Houston's best examples of public-private partnership over the last 50 years. Our leaders have collaborated to make our efforts successful. Many of them are with us today. I'd like to ask past chairs of our board if they would please stand and be recognized. I know some of you are here, I've seen you. And our board members, if you could also please stand. Thank you, as always, for your ongoing service and support. Vital to the success of the Bureau is the leadership of our city, county, and state officials. We'd like to recognize Mayor Parker and Judge Emmett, as well as the members of City Council and our county commissioners, as well as their representatives, for their continued support of the Convention and Visitors Bureau. Mayor Parker has been an advocate for our convention and trade show development initiative. On her trip to the Middle East last year, she heavily promoted Total Energy to organizations she met with, conveying the importance of a conference that looked at the spectrum of energy resources with the goal of creating a strategic dialogue. She takes her role with the GHCVB seriously, and I'm confident she will continue to be a champion for our work this year and beyond. If you'll please join me in welcoming the Mayor of Houston, the Honorable Annise Parker.
Glad to be here to be a part of this historic meeting. Just as the city and county were integral into that first big convention 50 years ago, the city and county still have a role to play going forward into the next 50 years. I don't know whether the founders of the Greater Houston Convention and Visitors Bureau really had a concept or a vision of what our city would look like 50 years into the future. But they clearly set in place an organization that has been part and parcel of our growth. Now, I get that the city of Houston is tasty and it's savvy and it's artsy and it's exciting, and I love the ad campaign, but to all on the Bureau, and Alex, how we got listed as the number 7 place to visit on the New York Times list ahead of Paris, I bow down to whoever made that happen. It just, I love this city, but I don't know if I'd quite put us there. But what we are doing is positioning ourselves as not just a city of business, but a city where business can be transacted, and a city that works for visitors as well as it works for everyone who lives here every day. We are positioning ourselves to take advantage of our heavy sectors, oil and gas, moving into energy, medicine, the port, to create our own conferences and conventions, and not simply compete against other cities for already established events. And whether that means that I, as mayor, go off and pitch Comic Palooza, or it means that on a trip to the Middle East, I make a direct and personal pitch to attend Total Energy, I'm proud to be part of the effort because I know that I have a team behind me providing me with the information, backing up what I commit to, and making sure that when those events actually occur, they're done in a first-class manner that is a credit to the City of Houston. I'm happy to see so many people here today. I am always glad to share an event stage with my colleague in local government, County Judge Ed Emmett, and I look forward to what this organization will do in the next 50 years. Thank you.
Thank you, Mayor Parker. Harris County continues to support the GHCVB's work to promote our region. The county manages some of the most important facilities in the area's portfolio, in particular Reliant Park. Judge Ed Emmett, along with his fellow county commissioners, work side by side with us to ensure that Harris County, its parks, attractions, and facilities are promoted to locals and visitors alike. Whenever we've asked the judge for support, his response has always been, "How can I help?" Please welcome Harris County Judge, the Honorable Ed Emmett.
Well, good afternoon. It is a pleasure to be here. You know, visiting with several of you and watching this film, I have to start with a bit of a story. The job of the Greater Houston Convention and Visitors Bureau, taking the image, and I agree, Mayor Parker, us being ahead of Paris, I do go to Houston a lot more than I go to Paris, so I guess there's some merit to that. But still to this day, if you travel around the country, around the world, we still have, I won't say an image problem, but people don't really understand who we are. They've seen too many movies, and I'm reminded in 1974, after I'd gotten out of graduate school, I had a friend come down from Washington, D.C., where I'd spent the summer before, to visit, and they'd never been to Texas. And they flew in to Intercontinental, and they were stunned by all the trees. They said, you know, we just thought it was bluffs and, you know, desert. I said, no, you watch too many Westerns. And everywhere we went, I drove them through River Oaks. They were astonished. And we went, some of you will remember, Lower Westheimer was really kind of blossoming as a restaurant destination. There was a little crepe place called Lily Ann's, and we had this nice table right there by the street. And I swear, in the middle of the dinner, a guy came riding down Westheimer on a horse, pulled into the convenience store next door, got back on the horse with, I'm sure it was a Coke, but some kind of a can with a brown paper bag, and rode the horse back down Westheimer. My friend looked at me and didn't believe anything else I had to say the rest of the time. I still don't know where that horse came from. I mean, it's amazing. But we now find ourselves, 50 years since the founding of the Bureau, or the Council, I guess it was called then, in an amazing place. It is the Greater Houston, so I have to talk about something other than the City of Houston. City of Houston's fourth largest city in the United States. Harris County's third largest county. But what's amazing, unincorporated Harris County has 1.6 million people. If it were its own city, we would be fifth right behind the city of Houston and ahead of Philadelphia. And if you throw in the surrounding areas and you think about the diversity of our community, we are much more a destination city now than we were in 1974 or 1963 for a variety of reasons. And if you just go out to the Big Thicket and other places that are nearby, we have tremendous potential. But I have to close. We talk about tourists and we talk about conventions, and those are important, and yes, they bring dollars, and watching the little skit, I understand that. But I've come to understand that the role of a Convention and Visitors Bureau is so much more than that. Because when people come to a convention or they come here as a tourist, you know, you've got people who own businesses. You've got people who may start a business and they start thinking about, well, where do I want to go? Well, I remember the time I went to Houston and they think, I'm going to go put my business there. And you even have people who decide where do they want to retire. And so the job that you do, yes, it's very important in terms of bringing conventions and tourists and other visitors here. But I think what you really do is help grow the long-term economy of the entire community. And I thank you for that. And on behalf of the county, we always stand ready to help. And so thank you very much.
Thank you, Judge. The GHCB is a business association. The businesses that we do together benefit the community we live, work, and in which we love. One of the reasons we have an annual meeting is to conduct the business of the association, including leadership changes. This time I'd like to call on the chair of the nominating committee, Mr. Jim Mills, immediate past chair, to present the 2013 Board of Directors. Jim?
Thank you, Alex. Upon the recommendations of the nominating committee and with approval by the executive committee and by the board of directors, we present the directors approved at the December 14th, 2012 annual meeting. Included are those directors for the term beginning 2013, directors renominated to serve another 3-year term, the past chair's advisory council, and the executive committee of the board. Mr. Chairman.
Bureau. Outgoing Board of Directors. Richard E. Allen Jr. Nancy Ames. Daniel A. Barretto. Dirk Burghartz, Marcus L. Davis, Akinta Donato, Joe Glenn, Lutfi Hassan, Argentina M. James, LaVale Levette, Drayton McLean Jr., Jeff Mosley, Dennis Pena, Greg D. Rogers, Jesse Saldivar, Stan Skidall, Patty Dale Tye, Dr. Richard E. Wainerty, Jermaine M. Washington. Outgoing Executive Committee members: Dirk Burghartz, Tom Matthews. Board of Directors for the term beginning 2013. Scott Austin, Allison Birdwell, Susan Bischoff, Lorette Canisares, Galen Cobb, James R. Crane, David B. Devane, Cicely Dickinson, Monty Hanson, Robert W. Harvey, Jerry Martin, Wade Moorhead, Christopher Normile, Sharon M. Owens, Kim Padgett, Robert C. Robbins, M.D., Chris Shepard, Ja St. Julian, Zadi Syed. Current board directors renominated to serve another 3-year term: Fred H. Arnold, John Beto, Tad Brown, Connie L. Cochran, Edgardo E. Colon, Douglas M. Horn, Michael K. Ginn, Darrell King, Karen Mulville, Judy Orlando, Joe Palmieri, Sissy Segal Davis, David Taglerino, Luther Villagomez. Past Chairs Advisory Council: Chris K. Wilmot. Executive Committee of the Board of Directors: Alex Brennan Martin, Steve Trent, Nikki Keenan, Nick Massad Jr., Greg Ortel, Reggie Coachman, Edgardo Colon, George A. DeMontron III, Andrew W. Andy Dorado, Judge Ed Emmett, Terrence H. Fontaine, Dean Gladden, Stephanie Haynes, Donald J. Henderson, John Johnson, Darrell King, Mark Miller, Jim Mills, Judy Orlando, Joe Palmieri, Chris Pappas, Mayor Anise D. Parker, Thomas J. Rosepink, Don Ulrich.
Jim, thank you for your committee for all the hard work. Thanks very much.
Mr. Chairman.
As we celebrate the 50th anniversary of the Greater Houston Convention and Visitors Bureau, I'm especially honored to serve as chairman of this organization. Not only is the Bureau thriving on all fronts, but the press for our city has never been better. Houston is recognized as an important destination for the traveling public. Publications and media are encouraging their readers and viewers to rediscover Houston. As the mayor mentioned, we ranked a little bit ahead of Paris. I like Paris, but Houston, I like our ranking better. The New York Times included us as number 7 on the list of its world cities to visit in 2013. AARP Travel listed Houston as the top city to visit because of food, culture, and architecture. For several years at this meeting, we've also talked about becoming entrepreneurial. And this year we should pay particular attention to the Bureau's efforts. With the help of key executive board members and Greg's outstanding staff, the GHCVB has embarked on a very promising path towards growing major new conferences as an equity partner. From Total Energies USA successful launch last year to the new Medical World Americas conference and trade show slated for 2014, the Bureau has brought the right organizations to the table to fashion its own destiny. The momentum must be sustained, and the board and membership have a significant role to support the organization's efforts. To that end, the board has funded 2 research and planning projects to make that happen. The first is a survey to ensure the staff and board alignment to make sure that we have the most effective governance structure for a nimble sales and marketing organization. The second is a study we are conducting with the University of Houston Conrad Hilton College of Hotel and Restaurant Management to analyze through a series of case studies how we stack up against the destinations we most frequently compete with for meetings. To continue the momentum in 2013, it's important for us to pause and recognize the important role hospitality as a whole plays in our city. Each year, hundreds of millions of dollars are generated for Houston by conventions and trade shows, as well as individual business and leisure travelers. They keep our hotels occupied, our venues full, and our restaurants humming. While many Houstonians may not fully grasp the significance of this industry, our board and members certainly do. When people ask me what is the most important thing they can do as a participant in this organization, it's simple. The GHCVB has gone unsung for a long time. So I ask you to sing a little. Continue to spread the word about the Bureau's efforts and the broader impact our industry has on Houston. I would like now to call upon President and CEO of the Greater Houston Convention and Visitors Bureau, Mr. Greg Ortell, who will report the official state of the Bureau and outlook for 2013.
Thank you, Alex. "50 years. Throughout its history, Houston has been a city that defied the odds, broke with convention, and made its own rules. In many ways, the GHCVB is a microcosm of that spirit. Our organization was established in 1963 by a small group of people who recognized that they could accomplish more as a hospitality community if they banded together. Today, we honor their foresight and determination by following their example, capitalizing on the city's business strengths in areas like energy and medicine to launch new annual conventions and trade shows. Our sales team reached its goal with a 24% increase over the previous year, and our current conventions are experiencing strong attendance. Houston is one of the 46 places in the world New York Times wants its readers to visit in 2013. That's because they've already been to Paris. And it's the coolest city in the country, according to Forbes, and we already knew that. Indeed, this is a wonderful time to be in this business in the city of Houston. For too long, we struggled to overcome the perception that Houston was only a business town and didn't know how to have a good time. The GHCVB took on the issue, creating an authentic brand built around our core strengths, a diverse culinary scene, dynamic visual and performing arts, and an international culture that feeds it all. Houston is now a destination other cities envy, like Paris. As you all know, Houston is an international city with one of the largest populations of foreign-born residents in the country. Because of this and the global nature of key industries like energy and medicine, we are competing more than ever for international business, becoming the first U.S. city to be accepted into the Best Cities Marketing Alliance, joining 9 other cities, including places like Berlin, Singapore, Copenhagen, and Dubai. Our domestic and international PR teams generated more than $20 million of publicity. And our web network once again broke records with 2.4 million visitors, a 30% increase over 2011. Now I ask you to turn your attention to the video screens for the official state of the Bureau and our accomplishments of the past year.
The convention sales team contracted 550,045 room nights, 100% of goal, with an estimated direct impact $673 million. This represents a 6% increase over 2011. Our sales strategy focuses on groups that use Houston's convention facilities, short-term opportunities, and meetings that reflect Houston's major industries. The following are significant bookings that tie back to Houston's leading industries: energy, scientific engineering, medical, sports, and social, military, educational, religious, and fraternal. Offshore Technology Conference, American Association of Blacks in Energy, National Science Teachers Association, Science Teachers Association of Texas, American Society for Human Genetics, American Association of Critical Care Nurses, USA Volleyball, Austin Junior Volleyball, Delta Sigma Theta Sorority Incorporated, Generation of Youth for Christ. Groups that use convention facilities often use multiple hotels, creating a greater benefit for member properties. The sales team secured 60 groups with meetings convening either at the George R. Brown or Reliant Park convention centers. Microsoft World Partner Conference, Ace Hardware Corp. Spring Convention. Houston's meetings footprint is not limited to the United States. The International Sales Department has succeeded in bringing international meetings and leisure travel to Houston.
Welcome to the biggest city in the biggest state in the continental USA. This is Houston, Texas.
In 2012, 69,000 total room nights were contracted from outside the United States. This includes the 2016 World Methodist Council. The team is also working on an additional 60,000 tentative room nights and is working with receptive operators like GTA and Torico to help Houston hotels take advantage of international leisure business during weekends and the summer. Houston's reputation as a global meetings destination received a boost with formal acceptance in the Best Cities Global Alliance. This elite alliance includes Cape Town, Copenhagen, Dubai, Edinburgh, Melbourne, Singapore, Vancouver, and Berlin. As an alliance member, Houston will receive international promotion and leads for association business. As with domestic sales, the international sales team partners with the Texas Medical Center and members of the oil and gas sector to bring industry meetings to Houston. Selling and marketing go hand in hand in the international marketplace, and because of this, the department continues to maintain co-op marketing agreement with the Houston Airport System to increase competition at Houston's airports, and worked with the mayor's office to promote Houston in Saudi Arabia, the United Arab Emirates, and Qatar. In addition, the international sales team revamped the Spanish-language website, visitahouston.com, to attract more Mexican leisure visitors to the city, and worked to generate $13.8 million in positive international publicity for Houston. Once a convention is booked, the convention services team takes over. Our services team assists booked business with planning and promoting their event. The department wears many hats, from coordinating planning visits to acting as a location scout for unique venues, to coordinating traffic mobility. No matter the request, they are there to assist. In 2012, the team hosted 15 citywide conventions, including Annual's Offshore Technology Conference, OTC, International Quilts Market and Festival, Quilts, American Association of Professional Landmen, NAPE, and First Time Groups, National Association of Foreign Student Advisors, the Endocrine Society, Starbucks Leadership Conference, and Microsoft Convergence. The services team worked with clients from 29 associations and groups and organized more than 80 planning site visits for future conventions. The team also assisted with attendee building for 15 conventions scheduled to meet in Houston in 2013 and representing over 190,000 room nights. Convention Services is also the primary liaison between meetings clients and membership. With more than 1,100 members, the GHCVB is the largest network of hospitality, sales, and marketing professionals in the greater Houston area. The department is focused on creating member-to-member engagement opportunities and working with other departments to provide members with access to the lucrative convention and leisure travel markets. Engagement events, including new member orientation and refresher workshops and member showcases, experienced record attendance. The membership and marketing departments collaborated to create new online benefits. 2.5 million visited the CVB's website network, which includes visithouston.com, visitahouston.texas.com, mygayhouston.com, houstonculinarytours.com, and houstonreunions.com, representing a 28% growth over last year. This growth gives member organizations exposure to a larger pool of potential customers. Research shows that visitors to the website make decisions based on the quality of the content. Because of this, members were given the opportunity to enhance their web listing with slideshows and detailed business information, including hours of operation, pricing, parking information, and venue amenities. Members can also showcase their meeting capabilities, providing planners with the details they need to make purchase decisions. Once a member uploads their content, the information automatically populates the new Houston Venue Search tool, which gives visitors the ability to pull results based on their preferences. This planning tool was built for all event types. Online advertising opportunities were also introduced, and 32 advertisers took advantage. Campaigns achieved a click-through rate as high as 5 times the national average, a huge return for members who invested. Domestic public relations efforts placed Houston in the national spotlight, with 753 media placements reaching 340 million people. National placements included the New York Times, New York Post, Hemispheres, Washington Post, Southern Living, Dallas Morning News, Garden and Gun, and Texas Monthly. For the past 5 years, the marketing department has conducted destination research, studying top-of-mind awareness and advertising effectiveness. 2012 domestic travel research revealed that when it came to Houston's image, 2 destination attributes outperformed all other cities in Texas and Louisiana: variety of dining options and culture. Marketing developed a print adaptation of the highly successful My Houston campaign. Featuring industry leaders in an editorial photography layout, Houston Is reinforces Houston's strong sense of community and undeniable position as a culinary and cultural capital. The campaign launched nationally on Valentine's Day. While the marketing department develops commercials for Houston, the Houston Film Commission works to develop Houston's global film and commercial industry. A healthy film industry puts heads in beds, creates jobs, expands the tax base, and further enhances the city's image and visibility. The Houston Film Commission develops film and video projects and works to build a sustainable film infrastructure. Known for being filmmaker-friendly, the Commission continues to have a strong presence at major industry events, including Sundance, the Los Angeles, Austin, and Dallas Film Festivals, as well as the American Film Market and South by Southwest. The work is paying off. In 2012, 180 film and video projects were shot in the Houston area, resulting in 635 shooting days and a direct impact of $10.7 million. Notable projects include Dreamer, Helen Alone, The Bachelorette, The Winner Is, What Not to Wear, Adidas, Men's Warehouse, Bank of America, Whataburger, Hyundai, MasterCard, Ford Fusion, Hasbro, Superheroes. Just as the Film Commission brings creative projects to Houston, the Partnerships and Event Development Department is focused on creating new annual events in Houston. In 2012, the Total Energy USA Conference and Expo launched as the first show of its kind in North America to examine all sources of energy. Rated one of the top 5 energy shows of 2012 by the Houston Chronicle, Total Energy USA brought together leading industry executives for a forum on how different segments of the energy sector can work together for a sustainable future. The GHCVB's role in the creation of Total Energy marks an innovative approach to generating room nights. Under this same model, the GHCVB partnered with the producer of the largest medical show in the world, Medica, to establish Medical World Americas, an annual medical and healthcare event in Houston starting in April 2014. Once an initiative is launched, the department is focused on helping the events to grow and maximize the long-term investment. Comic Palooza, also supported by the GHCVB, increased its attendance to more than 11,000. These new annual events are in line with the CVB's core mission: to increase visitation and elevate Houston's visibility as a premier destination for business, for travel, and for events. As more people travel to Houston, it's important that they feel welcome. The Visitors Information Services Department provides relevant information, attractive merchandise, and a quality visitor experience. Located on the first floor of Houston's historic downtown City Hall, the Houston Visitor Center provided custom information to more than 114,000 visitors in 2012, enhancing their Houston experience. The department is also the primary liaison between membership and GHCVB departments in producing promotional products and provides members with the ability to sell products in the Visitor Center via a co-op. Visitor Information Services is focused on increasing attendance and encourages repeat visitation and the extension of trips through education. 2012 was a banner year. We broke records, brokered new initiatives, and expanded the Houston brand. What we have accomplished reflects the vision set forth by our founders 50 years ago.
Thank you. There are many great leadership quotes, but one that rings true for me is from Bill Marriott, who said, "Success is never final." This is especially true for the GHCVB. We owe it to our constituents to redouble our efforts to maintain momentum and create success. Last year's launch of Total Energy USA marked a milestone for our organization. Together with partners in key industries, we are investing in the creation of new annual conventions and trade shows, collaborating with Houston-based partners in core demographics to create unique, sustainable annual conferences. But conferences and trade shows don't create conferences and trade shows that don't compete with our regular customers. In November last year, the board of directors of Messe Dusseldorf, owner of the world's largest healthcare products trade show, voted to support a joint venture with the GHCVB. And last month, we formally announced the partnership in Medical World Americas, which we will launch in Houston in 2014. The announcement came after 3 years of working collaboration with the Texas Medical Center, the Greater Houston Partnership, Houston First, and the Houston Technology Center. Medical World Americas will capitalize on the tremendous brain trust that exists in our city with the Texas Medical Center, create what we believe will become one of the city's most anticipated annual conferences and trade shows. Medical World Americas is the first of a series of healthcare-related businesses we are pursuing. The GHCVB international team is working in partnership with the new CEO of the Texas Medical Center, Dr. Robert Robbins, to attract international association business to Houston. The most prominent of these prospects is the International Conference on the Genome, put together by the Human Genome Organization based in Singapore. We will be traveling with Dr. Robbins this April to Singapore to bid on this conference. A unique aspect of the bid is we are doing a joint invitation with Edinburgh, Scotland, a member of the Best Cities Marketing Alliance. The International Conference on the Genome has never been held in the United States. But because of the talent that exists in Houston with institutions such as MD Anderson and the leadership of Dr. Robbins, we believe that we have a real shot. Our team is also working hard hand in hand with the TMC to bring other medical industry conferences to Houston, including the World Federation of Acupuncture in 2014, the International Society of Physical Rehabilitation and Medicine in 2015. And on the energy front, we've just begun work to bring the World Petroleum Congress to Houston in 2017, which will again include players from Houston's top energy companies. This particular conference would represent a major achievement for Houston, generating more than 42,000 room nights for local hotels. Now, unless you have been living without media or you're a hermit or you're living under a rock, you know that Houston is a finalist to host Super Bowl 51 in 2017. The GHCVB is coordinating the bid effort with the Houston Texans and many other constituent organizations. Last month, we announced that former Secretary of State James Baker would serve as the honorary chair of our bid committee, and Camden Corporation Chairman Rick Campbell will serve as the chairman of the bid committee. Collaboration will again be a critical component if we are to be successful. The Super Bowl bid committee represents both the hospitality and the business community. The GACVB remains proud to represent the largest and most respected network of hospitality sales and marketing professionals in Houston, Harris County. The Greater Houston Convention and Visitors Bureau is primarily a small business association. Together we collaborate for success. Let me repeat that. We collaborate for success. But I remind everyone to take advantage of your membership and learn what resources are available to you to create your success. We are the marketing platform upon which you can position your product or service for more business. It's up to you to get the most return for your membership sponsorship investment. And when you leave here today, you'll get a report card of what the GACVB has done, but also what we can do for you. We are now 1 quarter into 2013, and I believe that our staff has never been stronger or more committed and focused on the core mission than we are right now. We have an obligation to the founders to maintain the vision that brought their checkbooks out of their pockets and created this organization 50 years ago. I know that great things are yet to come, and with another 50 years of success is within our reach. And that's my report, Mr. Chair.
Thank you, Greg. On this special occasion, it is appropriate that we recognize Houston's longest-running annual conference.
In 1969, 12 engineering scientific organizations came together and partnered to create the Offshore Technology Conference. The original producer of that meeting for 25 years is here with us today, starting from 1969 to 1994. I'd like to ask Doug Duquette to stand up, please. Doug is currently the president of the Center for Exhibition Industry Research. We are eternally grateful to Doug and all of the 12 societies that they chose Houston and the Albert Thomas Convention Center for the event in 1969. With the success of OTC, they quickly outgrew the Albert Thomas Convention Center and relocated to the Astrodome, now Reliant Park. Today, OTC is ranked 19th among the largest 100 trade shows held annually in the United States. Their presence alone gives Houston marketing cachet. But more importantly, OTC has generated nearly $1.8 billion for Houston. That is truly an incredible achievement. Obviously, a simple thank you is not adequate for a 44-year customer. On the occasion of our 50th anniversary, I would like to present OTC Executive Director Stephen Graham with a special recognition honoring OTC's 44-year partnership and commitment to Houston and Harris County. Stephen?
I'd like to introduce Don Henderson, Chair Emeritus, to present a new annual award named in honor of Houston hospitality industry legend. Don.
Thank you, Alex. This year, as we celebrate our 50th anniversary, we also mark a sad milestone. We lost an exceptional friend and colleague this year, Jack O'Connell. You know, not so long ago, Houston's top promoter was Judge Roy Hofheinz. His leadership and his vision helped create the Astrodome, and the judge personally chose Jack O'Connell to put Houston on the convention and trade show industry path. Jack knew how to hire good people. he was chiefly responsible for recruiting Chet Wilkins, whom we mentioned earlier. Together, they were responsible for bringing to Houston some of the biggest and the best industry meetings like National Association of Home Builders, National Sporting Goods, National Shoe Fair, to name a few. And Jack also facilitated moving a small conference called Offshore Technology Conference from downtown to the Astrodome and growing it to the enormous impact we celebrate today. Jack began the process of bringing Houston its first Super Bowl in 1974 at Rice Stadium, and he threw the largest NFL party ever on the floor of the Astrodome. Jack O'Connell was a leader, an overachiever, and a teacher. He was a true visionary, and he was the GHCVB's first chairman emeritus. He will always be missed, but he'll never be forgotten. And we will honor his memory every year with the Jack O'Connell Achievement Award. And more on that in just a moment from our chairman. To Denise O'Connell, we want to thank you for sharing Jack with us. And as a token of our appreciation, we would like to present you with an honorary membership on our board of directors, as well as a copy of the award that will honor Jack every year at our annual meeting. Is Denise in the audience?
Okay. I knew I saw it. Thank you, Denise. And we also have Jack with us at all of our executive committee meetings in the Jack O'Connell boardroom in the new bureau offices. I'd like to present the inaugural Jack O'Connell Achievement Award to a person who has been a GHCVB associate since 1972. Thank you, Patty Olson, for 41 years of service to Houston's hospitality industry. During that time, she has worked in virtually every department of the organization and currently supports our all-important convention services team. Thank you, Patty. As we begin to conclude today's meeting, I'd like to take this opportunity to recognize the partnership of United Airlines and the Houston Airport System. Their support enables us to sell Houston all over the world. I also want to thank our hotel community, Houston First Corporation, and the George R. Brown Houston Center, Reliant Park, our members, stakeholders, and investors. Thank you for your continued support. Also at this time, I'd like to recognize our gold and platinum members and our official partners. You see here on the screen behind me. And a very special thank you to the sponsor of today's annual meeting. Also behind me. Thank you very much. Folks of the Houstonian, I wonder where that came from. At any rate, I officially adjourn this meeting and look forward to seeing you all at the reception. Here's to another year for the GHCVB. Thank you.